Hey guys, what's going on? Obviously, this is something very different than we usually do. This was actually Kara's idea. So, Kara, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Because this is my favorite show. I mean, other than Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but this is a super fun show that I got Michael watching way back during the lockdown because I have the boxed set of Tales from the Crypt, and it is such a classic. You'll find old actors before they even got their big breaks in these episodes.
Like, we're talking Brad Pitt.
Literally Brad Pitt.
There's big stars in this.
Yeah, and like one of my favorite episodes we'll get to is starring John Lovitz.
Yeah.
Do you know who John Lovitz is? Anyway,
he's in Friends, and he basically...
Oh, the bad date with Rachel.
He's like got erectile dysfunction.
Oh, I wish you would let me rub those feet. Of course, I wouldn't use my hands.
Yes, but yeah, so we're reviewing these episodes because it's a great show and it's super fun. Something different in each episode.
Okay, so that's why we're doing this show, and we plan to do every single episode from this fantastic box set, even though the last season's our least favorite.
The last season, it's like turned British, but all the episodes seem kind of the same. Anyways.
This is our first of many Tales from the Crypt recaps and reviews, and the first episode is titled...
The Man Who Was Death.
Boom, our third try, but Kara finally got it right.
Bingo. I knew it was something to do with death. Are you gonna tell me your thoughts on this episode? To be honest, like...
I liked it more than Kara. Like, some of my favorite movies are Shawshank Redemption or Midnight Express or what are some other...
Escape from Alcatraz.
Oh, like, I love these, and this one definitely fell into that category, but I don't think it's one of their strongest by far, and I actually think it's weird that this was the very first episode, because obviously, like, usually networks are looking at these, and they're like, are we gonna greenlight an entire season? I felt like they should have started with something stronger.
Poor little fellas. When I think of their childhood, all those cute little maggots.
Your thoughts?
I agree. But first I'll say, like, for a first episode, it was high quality. Like, this is the 80s. This is ancient. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching it on like a DVD. It's still really good quality. So for a pilot episode, I would say that part was good. But on the other hand, I actually didn't remember this episode at all. And that's saying something.
That's true.
I didn't remember it at all. I remember most episodes at least a little bit. Like, even if I didn't really like them, I don't remember watching this. So it was definitely interesting to watch. I thought it was a bit slow. It definitely wasn't too spooky. It was more about taking the law into your own hands. But it kind of, I feel like each creepy story all have like a little lesson. So it kind of foreshadows what the show is going to be about. There's always some like meaning to these episodes or whatever. My personal favorite part was when the Crypt Keeper's feet were showing at the end.
Okay, so that's one of my first points. We got our first look at the Crypt Keeper, the style of the show, the intro, and there was something about him that you could tell this was the first episode because his voice was way different than it becomes later on throughout the season. I wrote down that it was deeper, it was slower, and yes, of course, it's the one and only times you get to see his feet.
Remember, boys and girls, safety first.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more times, but like not only did his voice, who's done by John Kassir, and I saw him at the festival. I forget what it was called. It was like a horror con. But anyways, I think his voice definitely did develop, and his cackle, his signature laugh. But I think also the puppet itself evolves so much, I guess, as like the show starts doing better and it's more modern. You see, like, he goes from like looking more like old. He gets fresher. I don't know, more high quality. So yeah.
Good. What a revolting development.
We've looked into purchasing one of these puppets for the house, and they're hard. They're very rare. They're rare.
If anyone knows where I can buy one, a statue, even if it's humongous, please hit me up.
That is on her to-do list. Aren't you getting a tattoo of this guy?
Oh yeah, I am.
So, off the top of the episode of The Man Who Is Death. Now, it started off with a well-known actor. I noticed his name right off the top. He plays the character of William Sadler, but his name is Niles Tablet.
Wasn't he in Shawshank Redemption?
He's a character in Shawshank Redemption. That's really the only place I recognized him from.
Very
he plays
fitting.
one of the good friends of our protagonist in that, and he's helping him through the escape, or he's helping him pass his time in prison. So a similar role, but in that he plays like a lovable idiot, and in this he's a vicious psycho electrician who wishes death on everyone. Much darker role for him.
Yeah.
I would have liked to.
But he was like taking he had a nasty streak, but the people that he was going after were criminals themselves. So it was kind of like a Robin Hood taking justice into his own hand. That's what I meant by there's like these little lessons in them. So yeah, it wasn't like super scary, but it was.
The episode was really heavy with monologues given right to the camera, which would have required a really high-end actor. Someone, I'm sure, for this is like a pretty big production, a big show with a big investment. Like they got Robert Zemeckis working on this, so I believe did like the Batman and Robin movies. Like these were high-end Hollywood productions. So obviously he's a somebody, and a little too many monologues for me. It starts off with the execution of a criminal by the name of Charles Ledbetter, and our main guy's basically saying, you know, he loves his job being the executioner, giving these people what they deserve. And you're in this prison cell, and the man's pleading for his life. It's dark, it's spooky, it's great. A little slow to get to the point, but it was good.
Yeah, and like having like an actor that people know, like they weren't always like Brad Pitts, but there's a lot of like actors that you'd be like, oh my gosh, I know him, and they're in a bunch of stuff. There's like so many well-known actors. I think talking about like what you were saying, also, this was an early HBO show. HBO is like the top of the top.
Oh, the tippy top,
So, like,
the upper echelon.
Yeah, so like that is saying something. So
yeah, rolling through the episode, I feel like it's obviously broken down into 3 parts. We have the intro, establishing our characters, establishing the situation. Then we got to see him lose his job out in the city, and then he starts carrying out these executions on his own. So they remove the death penalty in the state. That is the reason why he loses his job. And then he thinks executions are so necessary in a world so evil. He's telling a bartender they should be on TV.
This one's on me, Mr. Talbot. This goddamn criminal. I can't believe those chicken shit politicians really did it. After all those years of service, and they canned you like you were some fucking guinea off the boat, you know. I hate to see talent go to waste.
Oh, that bartender.
I recognize that bartender from something.
Yeah.
What was
Show
he in?
a pic of him.
What was that guy? What was he?
I don't remember. I saw him in something.
He
I'll
played
have to-
another character on Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah, with some exploding head, but you've probably seen him in something else, like just a funny looking dude. Yeah, but I think one thing that it did well, and that a lot of the episodes do, is that it has to be. It's like a 30-minute episode, probably. Like it's just short, so like getting to all that, like the meat of the story and like the moral of the story, and him losing his job and carrying out these murders and whatever, all of that goes really smoothly. Like they fit it into a small time slot.
A lot's covered in a short amount of time.
And in a good way, though. It's not rushed or whatever.
I think my favorite part is the second act when he takes out the crimes on his own. We get the first guy is a murderer, a motorcycle guy, and he zaps him with a fence.
Yeah.
And then the second couple was in a hot tub, and we got to see a bit of side boob before that went down.
But then when he fails, he's trying to kill a woman who's a stripper, and he make some funny comment. I forgot what it was about, like, oh, those hotties or something cheesy. It was that was my favorite scene.
Yeah.
And the girls dancing in the cage.
They just want you to love them, is all. That's all they ever want. They get that from their mamas, from all the trashy magazines they read. It's easy to be successful with dames. Just don't fall in love and you're okay.
There was some more boobage.
Lots of boobs, lots of death. So HBO was definitely saying this is not for children. A late night TV show. And I feel like they waited a little while that it wasn't like over the top sex. It was like halfway to the end.
No, and no like actual sex in the episode, just boobies. But yeah,
And
HBO.
Those are some pretty good fake boobs for the 80s.
Treat whores like queens and queens like whores. You got no problem. They on their backs faster than you can say son of Sam. Oh, look at those honeys.
And
I'm just looking at the Crypt Keeper. He's cute.
So he tries to kill the stripper. He gets caught. And then they reinstate the death penalty. And now it's him in the chair begging for forgiveness.
Just came full circle.
Exactly.
Well,
He pled for his innocence. He justified what he did. He called for the governor. He said, this is my job. What did I do wrong just because you're changing the laws? And he gets zapped not once, but twice.
yep.
It almost looks like he's alive the second time, where the first guy went out with one. So it's like he got it worse. And
Makes sense.
That basically wrapped it up. And we had our good old Crypt Keeper in the beginning and the end with a bug zapper.
And what a switch for poor Talbot. It just goes to show you what happens when you get too caught up in your work.
Yeah, in the end is he was in his little electric chair, and that's when we saw his little feet.
Exactly.
My favorite scene. But yes, so are you gonna rate the episode?
Sure. What are we going to do? Out of 5? Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
It's definitely going. So if the best episode of all, I'm going to save 10 for just one episode, and then number 1 or 0.
You're
one's-
gonna say 10 for just one episode?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea
I-
because you're gonna forget.
There's going to be a lot of 9s and a few 8s, but no, 10 is just the all-time absolute
Well,
best
I'm
episode.
not following that rule, so
I'll
sorry.
be the stickler. So this episode falls low on my list. I would say, not that there's anything wrong with it, but in the catalog of episodes that they put out, I'd give this a 2 or a 3.
Well, he liked the episode better than me, so you're not doing a very good job with the rating system here.
Why?
I can't rate it.
Your ratings may be different
I
than
like
mine.
it. I like it less. I like it less than Michael. So, but I'm not as rude with my ratings. So I'm gonna give it a 2. But the acting was good. Acting was good. Good performance, but I didn't even remember the episode. Like, it wasn't memorable to me. Kind of slow.
And a weird one for them to start the show with.
But
I expected more for the very first episode.
I mean, it did go on for multiple seasons, though.
So I'm giving it a 3. Kara's giving it a 2, but that is just the first. We actually really love all of the episodes, so there'll be more positive reviews.
Except the British season.
I know.
I kind of.
It really.
But anyways, I'm sure there's still some decent ones in there. But anyways, I'm excited for the next episode, which is the Christmas episode. Michael hasn't seen that one yet, and I remember liking it.
It's
something about a sicko Santa, so
Wonderful. Very
we love
cool.
that.
Oh.
And it's almost Christmas, so perfect timing.
All right, so if you guys are into this show, I know it's very nostalgic. It's a bit of a throwback, but there is a huge cult following that loves this show, and perhaps you guys want to talk about it. Leave some comments down below. What episode is your favorite? What did you like about this episode? Are our ratings way off? Should I get a tattoo of the Crypt Keeper on my buttocks? You let us know in the comments down below.
And I think that some of the episodes are up on YouTube if people watch, because they're hard to find. Like, they don't have it on the streaming services.
Oh.
Right? I have the box set, but yeah.
I think I did see them when I was making this this YouTube idea. So yeah, watch it yourself. Let us know what you think, and we will see you guys in another review.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we also watch so many shows that if this catches on, we're doing this in our basement, so we could do this all day long. But we watch a bunch of other shows. We just finished rewatching Mad Men.
Yeah.
We love Vikings. What else have we watched?
Oh my gosh, those are some awesome classics. Dexter, and I just bought the box set of that because I love Dexter. So
we might keep this party going.
Yeah.
But this is just the first of many, and we'll see you guys in another video.
bye.
Boom.